Hey, how y'all doing today? Sorry I've been gone a while. Been really busy. Life's been a little hectic lately, but I finally have a little bit of time, so I wanted to make this video. This video is titled "God is Not a Woman." Um, Ariana Grande came out with this music video on Friday the 13th, and I guess it's titled "God is a Woman." Um, I checked it out, and I became very disturbed by the blatant sexual imagery and really outright blasphemy that I saw going on in the video. So I feel like it's really important to talk about it right now. Um, I believe this is an attempt, to appeal to the younger audiences and lead them to down a road of many regrets and mistakes. So first off, who's Ariana Grande? She's this girl. She started, in the entertainment business, I believe, when she was like 13, and she started on Broadway. But not too long ago, there was a scandal that took place. She was in a donut shop with her ex boyfriend, I think now, who was a backup dancer. And basically, she said she hated America. So, this is the video I pulled up, and it's from TMZ. So, let's go ahead and play it. So, there we go. So apparently, this girl, she hates Americans. She hates America, and that really disturbs me a lot. Because if you hate something, either you'll try to avoid it or you're going to try to attack it. So, I Ariana Grande, she works, in the entertainment business. So, with the Me Too movement taking place, we know all the corruption that's taking place in the Hollywood and the entertainment business. So here's the thing: a lot of people don't understand the Holy Bible story. So I'll break it down. Like I said, I'm very much a Christian man, and as a true Christian, Christians know that it's more than just reading your Holy Bible and even talking with people or associating with like-minded people. It's about associating with people who are different with you. Um, it's about forgiveness and sacrifice. It's about the experience. It's actually a lifestyle, a relationship with God. So a lot of people may claim to have a label, but they're not very much Christian. So with that being said, the story of Adam and Eve is a very simple story. Um, and let's see. It's a very simple story, and just to break it down, the serpent had appealed to Eve, and he said that Eve would basically be like God if she ate of the fruit of knowledge of good and evil. Um, so he was like, you'll be better than Adam. You'll be like God, and it displaced God's natural order. So the serpent appealed to Eve, and when you're God, naturally you own everything. So she owned the world. She got everything given to her. She was above Adam. Um, and then after she was deceived by the serpent, Eve actually deceived Adam because the serpent wasn't able to deceive Adam. And when Adam began to follow Eve, um, so the let me go back a little bit. So I think That original sin in the Holy Bible is Eve's pride. Um, Kind of explains why feminism is extremely successful nowadays, in my opinion. And then after, she had that pride, I believe she seduced Adam, and Adam began to follow her. Um, After that happened, they got to quote unquote know of each other, and I believe that Adam fell with lust, and they actually ended up having sex with each other. And after they realized what they had done, they began to know that they were naked. So the first time they fell, Adam and Eve had sex with each other, and it was through pleasure. Then they felt shame, and then the next time that they quote unquote got to know of each other, they had children. You know, so that was Cain and Abel. So that's very important. I have to talk about it because if Ariana Grande hates America and hates Americans, we already know that our principles stem from Judeo Christian values. This comes directly from the Holy Bible, and is intertwined in our Constitution with our capital R rights, our God given rights. So that's the foundation that has to be set. Um, and another thing is, I already have a video on it, but I talked about it that the Freemasons, one of the things they wear is an apron that covers their genitals. I believe it's made out of lambskin, and it symbolizes sexual purity. Um, so that's another thing to take to note. So let's look at this blasphemy. So the world is her footstool. She's gyrating around. The solar system's her vagina. There's a more sexual imagery. It's lust. So if God was a woman, she'd rule through lust. Unfortunately, that looks like the inside of a vagina. She's being pedestalized, and she's surrounded by men crawling around, simping for her. This right here is important to note. Okay, so on this book, and if you look at it, the layout of it is pretty eerie. But anyways, on this book, she's sitting on this mantle, you know, rusing, and these guys are basically just raging at her. You got the guy at the bottom just hollering and screaming. You got other guys just throwing insults at her. And if you actually look at the words, they say fake, they say hoe, and then they have subliminal messages like everything. Then they have other words, and then they have another subliminal message, anything. So basically now the woman's thinking anything and everything that's possibly said by any man, oh, they're just throwing shade at me. It's not possible for one moment that it's constructive criticism. It's not possible for one moment that a man might, try to correct her out of love. It's just instant. They're hating on me, they're raging, and they're throwing shade, they're insulting me. So while she's being pedestalized, she's acting like a giant baby victim. So this is basically, all the women wearing the white, they're the innocent one, and she's the Jezebel, who has all the decadence and the luxury. That's I think that represents the three-headed dog Cerberus. Basically she's acting like a beast. What I mean? This is like the fallen Eve. And I mean, you have to look into the words too. They're extremely highly sexual, and It's like, the woman is the universe. It's all inside of her. Um, if any reasonable person knows anything at all, then they understand that everything and anything, the source of the universe cannot be inside of a woman, because a woman and a man, they complete each other in order to make a baby. A woman cannot make a baby by herself. So, this right here is more symbology, but she's like the darkness on the inside of the fire of the flame. So she's not the light, she's the fire. Unfortunately, she has her hand covering her vagina and she's fingering a hurricane. So is I believe it symbolizes destruction, through sexuality, perversion. Now, if you pay attention, you'll see the plant starts to grow. So this is always shown a lot with, I guess we can call them the occult, but they always do this thing with the plants. It symbolizes from darkness to light. This right here, a lot of people they don't understand what that means. If you pay close attention, the gophers are coming out of the ground. Okay, so that represents, uh, I guess, really just a beast-like nature. But when the gophers scream out, they don't sound like a gopher. They sound like birds cackling. Like hawks. So a lot of people you don't stop to figure, okay, wait, the gopher is screaming like a hawk. There is a specific reason for that. That's like basically everything's been turned upside down. So I tell you all the things you should know, as above, so below. So the information you're putting in your brain, you're putting in your mind, it becomes a part of you. So think of, for example, one girl that's a good little Christian girl, and she values her education and she's modest and goes to church and very respectful. And then you have another girl who doesn't give a damn about anything. She's always on her social media, very disrespectful, doesn't do her schoolwork, you know. So what information are you putting in your body? So she's becoming that information that's getting put in, and that's the growth, the plant. If you confess, you might get blessed. So it's about actions and consequences, on one level, and then obviously on a shallow level, yeah, it's very sexual in nature, but more so on a deeper layer, it's about actions and consequences. She's being raised up again. Now the plant growth is much more. This right here, I don't really care for this too much, but this is, I believe, blasphemy again. The downward pointing triangle is a lot of times symbolizes God, and it's hand, imagery, and I'm certain people use it, and I'm not really gonna go into that, but this right here, if you pay close attention to our hands, is actually an upside down vagina. It does not look like a triangle, not even close, but it looks more like an upside down vagina. So the universe, the primordial ooze, is basically all around her loins. This right here is quoting Madonna, and you can look up the words, but the light above is shining in the darkness. Power. So if you pay close attention, it symbolizes, her helmet has animal ears, so she's more animal in nature. It's a dehumanizing, of women, lowering them to that of an animal nature. And as she throws her hammer up to the glass ceiling, she's shattering the glass ceiling, is a way of saying she's shattering God's order or the natural firmament. So now, the plant growth has surrounded her, and it's become her vision, and now her what she sees, her perception of the world is that of, of an animal like nature. Well, what ties a woman closer to an animal nature? Now we have open legs, more sexual imagery with the stilettos, more sexual imagery, but that symbolizes the darkness, and then the light coming in symbolizes the phallic symbol, so the combination of light and darkness. And her body movement is all about me, myself, and all, you know, it's P power. So it's all about lust. And like I said, this is some serious blasphemy, guys. It's very, very serious blasphemy. Um, a lot of people don't understand the foundation of our country, the foundation of America. About our Holy Bible, how important it was for the founding fathers. President George Washington said himself, "Man cannot govern rightly without man cannot rightly govern the world without God and Bible." There's a reason for that. But basically, there she is. She's walking in a like like one of those trapeze artists holding those balloons that she's holding are actually they represent planets. Okay, and that's like a field of wheat. But she's walking on that line. That's like symbolic of the hive mind. Everybody surrounds her all together. It's like a cult. The collective, the watchtower. So I think this is very important to note right here. Um, I mean, it's just like I said, it's blasphemy, but this makes that famous painting. I think is from Michelangelo. It basically it's a perversion of the painting. Um, Number one, in the original painting, they did not interchange race. Knowing that this is a professional production that cost probably millions of dollars to produce. Why would the producers, the director, go out of their way to make that change of race? I hypothesize it's because it was really, really famous not too long ago, a few years ago, but there was this giant, trend going on that the black woman is God, and they were literally saying that in black culture. The black woman is God. There's no if, ands, or but she's the source of everything. She's the source of the universe. Don't take my word for it. Look it up yourself. So the original painting, it didn't bring black and white but in this one it brings black and white. So I believe that symbolizes the fallen Eve. Okay. And it's not about race. They're making it about race, but it's not about race. And I believe that is the fallen Eve reaching out to the serpent, you know, because this is blasphemy is like, it's the opposite of God. It looks like it's religious and holy, but it's a misrepresentation for the opposite purposes. So if you look at Ariana Grande, she's hanging off of the shoulders of a bald black woman, and there's majority of black women. So I hypothesize that they're going to take advantage of black women. They're going to take advantage of black women and make them prideful, and basically say women is empowerment is the equivalent of being a slut. And to Ariana Grande and to the producers of this song, I have this question to ask you. Well, y'all say this is all about women empowerment. If it is, where are the women that are working? That are producing for society? Where are the women that are being there for their men, that are taking care of their children? I don't see any of that type of imagery, but I see all this highly, highly provocative sexual imagery, and I see a lot of highly, highly inflammatory, um, what look like sexist imagery to me, with those guys. And like I said, this is a form of programming. This is completely wrong. One last thing I'm gonna say is currently in black society, 73 of children are born unto single parenthood. Let that sink in. Majority of Planned Parenthood is placed in all black neighborhoods. And there's Hispanics, but there's a reason. It's targeted marketing. You see what I'm saying? I know there's this guy called Tommy Sotomayor, and he was talking about a lot of times how some black women would be, you call them BT 1000s, and I mean, I don't know about all that, but it would highlight a lot of women, black women, that a lot of the culture, and the society trends for black women was to, be arrogant and be haughty, and to a lot of times, be promiscuous, and it resulted in a lot of single parent households. So I feel as though this is taking advantage of the black community. Again, this is targeted, and this is it's feminism, and it's women against men, and it's basically, use your vagina as power above men, and men will follow you, and when it's all said and done, when they've had a piece of you, men are gonna follow you. That's why this video is put together the way it is. But I very much disliked this. It completely takes advantage of people who may be ignorant or who may be naive and young and have zero knowledge of the foundation of our country, the principles that it was founded upon, and it takes complete advantage of people who have zero knowledge of like art and history. Okay. And I am absolutely disgusted by this work. So y'all remember Ariana Grande Hates America. You saw the video. It's right there on TMZ. She also had a concert and there was some bombings, and I'm not blaming her for that, but that's really terribly bad. And now she's putting out this music video that directly goes against the Holy Bible, because the Holy Bible says God is our Father. So how would somebody be able to destroy America without having to shoot a gun? I focus on this channel a lot of times on the principle of the matter, and I believe that she promotes the opposite principles that our nation was founded on. And this is her way of trying to corrupt and destroy our great nation through breaking families. So if you like this video, please like, please subscribe. Um, I don't make a habit out of long videos, but I felt like this was necessary to speak on because, you know, the day that it came on, Friday the 13th, and the literal amount of blasphemy was so overwhelming that I am 5,000% concerned that we are in a spiritual war with the devil. Like, there is no denying it after watching this. So God bless y'all. Have a good day.